Hey, it's me, Tommy, and today we're taking a look at the DigitalFoto S300A. I'm not going to do my regular complete thorough analysis of everything about this light. There are already a couple of those on the internet. There's another set of lighting instruments that are extremely similar to this, and that is from the Yidoblo brand. There is a review from Gaffer and Gear on that light that goes into extremely great detail, and if you want to watch that video, there's a link to it in the description of this one. I'm going to explain why I think this would be a good idea to invest in the DigitalFoto brand instead of the Yidoblo brand, and a couple of other interesting things I see about this light. It's very clear that they are trying to make a light that looks like the Arri Skypanel S60. So if you show up on set with a set of lights like this, then people who have seen Arri Skypanels in the past will think, oh hey, those are those good lights that I saw. This guy knows what he's doing. Now the price of this light is $1,450 with the softbox and the grid. And if it's still listed at $1,800, then it will be lowered sometime in the next couple days. While the softbox and grid are a really nice addition, something that really bothers me about these lights that come with their own grids is they never fit just right, and they're always a huge pain to get mounted onto the light. Did it. Softboxes and grids are essential for these big lights like this because you get so much more opportunity to actually use them the way they're intended to be used if you have the proper accessories. And this one, while it is a bit of a pain in the ass to set up, it works really well. It gives you a huge, very soft, directional, full color light source, and you don't need to use the grid if you don't want to. But I'm a big fan of grids, as you probably know. There's one here, there's one up here. Let's see what it looks like when I key myself up. All right, so this is the light at 1% power. So without changing any settings on my camera, with the light being the same distance away as my normal key light setup, I think it's a little bit too bright. I know some other lights that have different dimming curves, like logarithmic. This one just goes to, this is the dimmest it will get. Now, if you need a really dim color option, RGB colors get a lot dimmer in terms of lux output anyways. So if I go to color light, this is 1%. Yeah, that's 1%. So, I mean, this isn't gonna work for the super dim scenarios where you just need a little tiny bit of light, unless you throw maybe like an extra sheet of diffusion in front of it. It will work for lighting up things really bright though. So I've got the camera set to f4, and my goal here is to see if this remote will work all the way upstairs and if I can get a proper exposure at f4. We're at 100% power. f4 looks pretty good. The light also comes with a remote. I mean, it even has the brand name of the Yidoblo light on it, the AI3000. What I think DigitalFoto did, which is really smart, is they're also selling these things called Chameleon Tubes. And there's a lot of people reviewing these Chameleon Tubes, and a lot of places are buying them right now because they're incredibly useful and incredibly affordable compared to all the other offerings, such as from Nanlite, Astera, or Quasar Science. These are, for the 2-foot tube, it's like 230, 240 bucks, and for the 4-foot tube, it's 300 bucks. The DigitalFoto brand version of Skypanel here, it also works with these tubes here, and I can't find another way to get a hold of this remote. So if you want to use this wireless remote with DigitalFoto's Chameleon Tubes, you'll have to get it with their Skypanel. I'm sorry, S300A. And that's I think it's really interesting because, I mean, although the remote has kind of a weird interface, getting used to it takes a moment. After you set the intensities of your lights, set each of your lights onto a different channel, and then you can turn one light off and then scroll through different channels and turn all the lights off. Or you can go just turn one light on. So you can use the same remote to easily turn on and off all your lights very quickly. So if you're using all the lights in a studio setup, which is my ideal scenario for, you know, recommending lights, is they have a remote control that you can set up your entire studio with, leave everything turned on, then take the remote, turn everything off, and then go about your day. Leave it all plugged in, turned on, but digitally turned off with the remote. Then walk back when you're ready to get back to work, and then just turn everything on real quick. And that reason alone is why I would recommend investing in the DigitalFoto S300 series as well as their Chameleon Tubes. I'm going to be doing a full review on their Chameleon Tubes pretty soon in my normal style, but the focus of this video is the S300. So it is extremely bright, and I have these two Bebob batteries here on my table here because one, Bebob is my favorite brand of batteries, of VMAP batteries anyways, and two, of all the VMAP batteries that I have, and I have several different brands, the Bebob batteries are the only ones that will actually power on the S300 here. The Arri Skypanel and a lot of other competitor lights of this form factor and size, when they're on VMAP power, will only go up to about 50% brightness, or their intensity will be cut in half. But the DigitalFoto S300A will retain the same intensity as if it were plugged into an AC power outlet. For that reason, you need extremely powerful VMAP batteries, and the Bebob batteries can sustain 10 amps of current continuously. Those are kind of the most interesting elements about this light. Other kind of visual comparisons to the Skypanel is the power ballast is built into the light. You just have to plug it in with this power cord, or the batteries. There we go. It's a lot lighter than the Skypanel S60. I mean, not a lot lighter, it is still pretty heavy. It's got 3 handles, so you can maneuver it pretty easily. But now let's talk about the user interface here. Now the user interface is one of the most important things to me. Let's go back to AC power. Don't want to have to charge batteries if I don't have to. So the user interface is one of the most important things to me because that's how you usually set up your light if you're not using the remote anyways. They also have a mobile app that works pretty well. I prefer not to use mobile apps because I feel like too many devices, in my opinion, demand that you connect with your phone to use it. And so if I don't have to use my phone, I don't want to. But they do have a mobile app and it works okay. But the user interface on board is kind of interesting. So we've got this fan button here that will turn the fan on and off. I don't know what the limit or the temperature limit is of how hot the unit can get before it shuts down or damage starts occurring. I couldn't find any documentation on it. I would say if you don't need to turn the fan off, let it run and keep your unit cool. But if you're in a sound sensitive environment like what I am in my studio here, then turn the fan off. We've got 3 presets for the white modes: 5500 Kelvin, 3200 Kelvin, and 4400 Kelvin. But when you click 5500 Kelvin, it actually sets it to 5600 Kelvin. That doesn't really matter too much though, because I found that whatever temperature setting you set the light to, it actually measures about 500 Kelvin higher when you're at 100% intensity. And when you're down to like the really low intensities, like somewhere like between 10 and 20%, the Kelvin temperature you're targeting is actually about 1,000 higher. So if you're at 5500 Kelvin and you've got the light at 30% intensity, you're actually going to measure about 6500 Kelvin. And if you're at 5500 Kelvin and you have it at 100% intensity, you're going to be at about 6000 Kelvin. So the color temperature is not incredibly accurate, and the color quality is a little bit lower than some of the more modern RGBW panels, because this is only an RGBW panel. It's only got 4 color chips, and I can't find a way to actually turn off, even if I go to white mode and I set it down to really low intensity, there's always at least 2 of the other colored chips active. I can't just get the white LEDs to turn on. And if I could do that, I'd probably have the best chance of getting the highest color quality. So basically, this light has very similar color qualities to the Skypanel S60. All of the RGBW, not the RGBW panels, have similar color quality. It's very good, but it's not great. It's great for lighting up huge areas because it has an enormous amount of output. Measured from 1 meter away, I was getting 8,000 lux, and that's a 2x1 soft source. So the light is spreading in a very wide area. That's a bright light. Something else I like about this light is it also has removable diffusion, and it'll fit the same diffusion panels that are used on the Skypanel S60. And it comes with a carrying case, which is adequate. It will carry the light and the accessories. It's not super, it's not rigid though, it is a soft case. We've got the 2 handbrake things on the yoke here that let you loosen and tighten the light down super hard. And when you completely loosen them, you can rotate the light 360 degrees easily. I mean, if it's battery powered anyways. It takes AC power, VMAP power, or DC in 26 volts in. It also has DMX in and out. The construction on the back is aluminum and like a hard PVC These handles are nice and metal. This handle up here is the only one that's made out of plastic, and it feels like if you dropped it, it might crack. I would hope that you are not dropping it. So I was editing this video and I realized I totally glanced over the user interface, so let's go through that now. To access the special effects, you hit the button on the left, and then you can scroll through, select them, change some options with the other two knobs. Clicking this center knob will bring you into the color picker mode, which has several different preset colors. You can change the intensity or the saturation. Clicking the knob on the right will bring you into the white mode. Color mode, which is the hue, saturation, intensity mode, which is the standard for lights like this. And then this is also where you set the different channels to be used on the remote with group or channel, and then also to set up DMX options. I see the DigitalFoto S300 as being the remote controlled studio light that you leave set up and are ready to go, power it with a remote to turn on your things. If you have a large space that you need to be lit up, this is a great budget alternative to the Skypanel S60, and it comes with a remote control, a case, a softbox, and a grid. It is an incredibly good value if you are also going to go eventually and get some of those Chameleon tubes, because then they're all powered off of the same remote and they're part of the same ecosystem. It's significantly a much better value than something like the iCan Onyx, which I reviewed a few weeks ago. That light had some problems. Next week, I'll be reviewing a new light from Lupo. So if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button. See you in the next one.